Hey, this is Adam Ward from What If It Was True? Recently, we published a new website called columbusarea.church. In it, we took all of the over 1,000 evangelical churches in the 7-county area and mapped them. We also coded them according to visitor friendliness. So someone can get on the website, they can type in their address, they can choose a search area around their address, they can choose how far they want to travel. And they can also choose what level of visitor friendliness. We have gold, silver, and bronze. And then we have all of the other churches. So what goes into that rating? We have 7 areas that we used for determining visitor friendliness. And I just wanted to cover those with you so that if any pastors out there wondered why you got a rating of this or that you would understand. And if any of you would like us to come visit live and see and get into more depth on whether your rating should be changed, feel free to do that. Reach out to us. And you can do that at adam@wiiwt.com. So we do have 4 ratings in 7 areas. The first area is around digital presence. So in today's world, people aren't going to use a copy of the Yellow Pages to look you up. They're going to search for you online. Even yellowpages.yp.com has 80 million visitors there. So if you're not online, you're not well represented. So one of the things that we talked about is having a website as a minimum, having some type of homepage. But the best churches not only have a website, they also are active in multiple social media fronts, and they leverage each one for its appropriateness. Some of the popular ones would include Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube or Vimeo. So if you want to see what best in class is, that's what the best in class churches are doing as far as digital presence. Number 2 is Evangelical. So we want to make sure that the theology is aligned with the basics. We don't, because there are so many denominations and so many versions of, well, this verse says this and this verse says this. We wanted to have just the basics. So this is in the gospel, and that man is wrong. Jesus came, and he's the only way for salvation, for us to get to heaven and spend eternity with him. So for evangelical churches that have the highest rating, they don't just believe that, but they promote it on a regular basis. They're talking about it from the pulpit. They're giving regular altar calls. And they're being clear that Jesus is the only way, that the gospel is the only way for salvation. The third is a face-to-face friendly welcome. Going to a new church can be one of the most intimidating things for someone to do. This friendly welcome is hospitality 101. Every other service industry does it, whether it's restaurants, whether it's lodging. And we and the people that come into our churches are used to going to these other areas. So we need to make sure from the second that they drive onto the parking lot to the second they leave, that they're feeling welcome. The best churches have it from the very beginning until the people leave. They've got people in the parking lot. They've got people greeting them on the way up to the church, inside the church, and also thanking them for coming on the way out. So our top gold-rated churches are very serious about a friendly welcome. The fourth, and some of you this may be a sticking point, is a casual, modern atmosphere. So with church decline and the way it's been lately, we are trying to separate religion and tradition from Christianity. And we don't want people to be, for the first time, in an environment that makes them feel like they're being manipulated, that makes them feel like the attention is not on God. We want Jesus to be the center. We don't want the environment to be the center, so we want a casual, modern atmosphere. The best churches in this create atmospheres that visitors feel instantly comfortable in. And we're proud of the ones that are doing that. And we'd like you to look at that as well. Number 5, the 5th criteria is conversational preaching. And this one can be tough because we're constantly balancing the need for truth with the need for grace. Turn or burn is not an acceptable message. It hasn't been since Jesus came and did his work. We need to identify what's going on. We need churches to be able to say, this is wrong, but we also need people to say that Jesus came for every single one of us. So the best speakers, they use proper exegesis, they're using proper hermeneutics, and they're pulling out applicable things that are relevant to their attendees' lives right off the bat. It's not a preach at you, it's a preach with you and for you, so that when you walk out, you're a better person than when you came in. There's no judgment being laid down from the stage. There's no manipulation, trying to force people to do one behavior over another. It's simply sharing the truth and sharing the gospel. Number 6, this is 6 criteria, is service excellence. So I alluded to this in the face-to-face portion criteria. But weekend services are the primary venue for how churches reach people. It is their largest gathering. It is the most people that are impacted. And our gold-rated churches display service excellence from beginning to end. Everybody is busy these days. We utilize all 24 hours of every day. When we're asking people to come to one of our weekend services, we need to be stewards of their time. We don't need to be deciding what happens next. We need to be very clear. So our best churches have seamless flow in programming from the beginning to the end. And we love the work and the effort that is being done there. They know when it's too long, and they don't hold the attendees for longer than necessary. And the last criteria that we used is the outsider factor. So many of us, including me, have been going to church for many years. I got saved 38 years ago. I've been in many churches. I've been involved with many ministries and many programs. How I see the church is very different than someone who's never been in a church or hasn't been in a church for a long time. And like I said, the intimidation factor of going into a church for the first time is one of the highest there is. So we need to think about, what are they thinking about from the second they drive into the parking lot? What's going on in their heads during this part of the service or that part of the service? When they get in the car and they're driving away, what is the one thing that's resonating in their head as they leave? The best churches that we rate they explain their expectations on a regular basis. They have great signage for directions once you walk in or once you drive onto the facility on where you're supposed to go. They have something for every age. It's just not one group goes right here and that's it. They're free from questionable spiritual activities that may weird people out, that only mature Christians may understand. So I've been visiting churches all around Columbus, and it's easy for me to take an outsider's perspective, and our gold-rated churches have done an excellent job at that. These are the 7 criteria for achieving visitor friendliness. The ones that achieve 5 or higher are gold ones. The ones that achieve 4 or higher are silver and bronze, 3 or more. And then the other churches have not. So please understand that this is how we're rating our churches. Thank you very much.